Hi everyone, how you doing? It's Carl here. In this video I want to go through my personal journey from a complete beginner on learning how to ride a motorbike, completing my CBT, going through my Mod 1 and my Mod 2, and I managed to pass my Mod 2 last week. This isn't just for men, this is for females as well, because my wife is going through it as well. She's just passed her Mod 1 and she's got a Mod 2 in a couple of weeks time. So in this video I've test ridden 9 or 10 bikes, so over the next 20 minutes I've got a quick short video on each bike, how they perform, how I feel, how they've made me feel, and a few questions I really want to answer. So over the last few months I've been going through the process of passing my test and trying to pick and decide which motorbike I want. I've been looking at reviews and looking at a Kawasaki Vulcan versus a Rebel, and a lot of people do versus videos, but what I haven't seen is all types and styles of different bikes all crammed into one video. So in this video what I've done is I've basically filmed a short clip and given a short review on each bike that I've ridden, and I've ridden 9 bikes in 5 days, and I now have, or maybe have, picked a bike, and we maybe have selected one for my wife as well. The other thing I want to choose or go through in this video is the best motorbike for a beginner, how to pick your first bike. Again, if you're a complete newbie like me, you have no idea. What's your riding style going to be like? And in this video, you're not going to get all the geeky stuff. So a lot of videos have got, oh, it's got a 41% degree lean, and it's a 15-litre tank, and it's 0 to 60 in 4 seconds, and all this kind of stuff. One thing, I looked at that for months. What's the 0 to 60? What's the weight? I wanted to know all the stats. And then when it actually come down to it, when I actually sat on the motorbike and rode it, none of that mattered at all. It was more about the feel, how it made me feel, the sound, the positioning, etc, etc. So in this video I'm going to try and answer all them questions. On each bike I've done a sort of 2-3 minute review, so if you want to bear with me, go through the videos. I'll try and explain kind of how each bike feels. I've ridden a CB125F, a Honda 500, a Rocket 3, a Harley Davidson 1200 Iron, a Trident, a Scrambler 900, a Street Twin 1200, a Triple RS, a Tiger 900, a Kawasaki Vulcan 650S, a Thunderbird Storm, and a few other bikes in between. So watch the videos. I'm going to try and explain kind of what I liked, what I didn't like. At the end I'm going to give you a full review and what we picked. So enjoy, I hope you like.
Shootout, right? It's a fucking shootout! Like a western.
So this was us on the CBT learning to do a figure of 8 on the 125. Then sat on a Kawasaki Vulcan, a Bobber, my friend's Rocket 3, a T1200, a Street Triple, a Thunderbird Storm, a Yamaha XJR, another Vulcan, another style of Bobber.
You don't need it.
This video was then us practicing for our Mod 1, the manoeuvres. Then on to the Honda 500 assessment ride. Then I had a sneaky little go on my friend's Rocket at a bit more speed. Harley Davidson. And then 8 weeks later, boom, there's me passing my test and on to the test rides.
Okay, so this is a Triumph Scrambler 900. I've literally just passed my test, and I've come back to Gedges and Hastings after passing my test, and they said, well, what do you want to take out? So they've given me this little beauty. So this is my first ever review. I have no idea what the sound is like with these goggles on, or what it looks like, but we will see how we go. It sounds lovely. I have done about 4 miles on it so far. So I'm used to it. I'm not used to it, but I'm definitely feel comfortable on it already, which is really good. I'm going to just put the visor down a little bit. Hopefully it will help with the sound. So please don't try and take the piss out of my riding too much, as I've only just passed. So I think it's stupid they've just given me this 900 gun play on, but there you go. So first impressions,
of the Scrambler is it is lovely. So I've been riding on a Trident. I've been riding for about 6 to 8 weeks. Done my mod 1 about a month ago, and now I've passed. I've been put on this beast. So this is only my second bike really that I've ridden on the road. I've had a bit of experience kind of on grass and, you know, as a kid riding around fields, but this is my first time on roads, and you know, getting used to traffic and motorbikes on concrete. So yeah, it's a new experience, and the idea of these is going to be, people say midlife crisis maybe, but I just wanted to do a review. So I'm going to try and test, you know, 6, 8, maybe 10 bikes, because I have no idea what bike I want, and all my friends are telling me to get this and get that, and oh, you'll love one of them and love one of them. But let's be honest, I ain't got a clue what I'm going to like or dislike. So I'm going to test as many as I can, and I'm going to try and do as a good a review as I can for as many of you as I can. So hopefully, because I haven't seen any, I've seen reviews on bikes, and I've seen reviews on one bike versus another bike, but what I've not seen is someone who's reviewed 6 or 7 bikes back to back to back, and that's going to be the plan. So the Triumph Scrambler 900 just finished my first ever test ride on any bike after passing my test, and I have to say it's nice and smooth, easy to ride, bit torquey, certainly for what I'm used to. Don't get run over. Again, I wouldn't say I'm a good rider, but they're very easy to jump on and just go. And again, if you're watching this, you might turn around and say, yeah, well, all bikes are easy to jump on and go, but again, this is my third bike I've tried. So a Trident, a Scrambler, and now, oh, it says there, look, Street Twin, says on the handlebars. Bloody traffic lights everywhere. So if you're watching this and you think, why am I not going any outside? Because I'm not particularly comfortable with doing that just yet, as I only passed an hour ago. Now this does sound lovely. The other one sounded good, really good, and I'd be more than happy with it. But this one sounds even better. So there you go, the Triumph Speed Twin. I've just seen it's a 1200, which is why it feels fuck's like quicker, because it's 300cc more aggressive. Okay, so this is bike number 4, I think, and today I am on a Triumph Speed Triple RS, again kindly lent to me from Gedges. Again, I've ridden it around for a few miles just to get used to it before I turn the camera on. It's very fast. I've been very ginger with this, but this is a different animal. Obviously a bit quieter on the sound compared to the others, but it is an absolute monster. So we're going to go nice and careful. I'm going to try and not shake my head as much because the camera is actually on my shades, and I'm going to try and look up a little bit more. So believe it or not, I am looking forwards, but the camera seems to kind of look down quite a lot, and I haven't managed to get my GoPro sorted to go on the helmet just yet. So I believe it's a 765, but again, I could be wrong, so don't shoot me if I am wrong. Again, I'm just trying as many bikes as I can. So the dashboard is nice. Headlights are a bit weird, but again, you'd get used to that very quickly. As you can hear, it sounds, when you give it a rev, it is lovely. So let's move a little bit so I can actually see where I'm going. So again, it is easy to ride. I'm going to try and look up a little bit so you can see where I'm going. So that's what the dash looks like. It is easy to ride, like the others, which is great, but it is a different beast to the others. so you have to be really careful. It does turn very well. The indicator switch is really nice, really direct, clicks nicely. The others have been quite smooth. So again, to jump on it straight away, again, like I've said, I am a novice rider really. You know, I only passed just yesterday, and this is my 4th or 5th bike already, so it's pretty cool. Again, I'm in 4th doing 30 mile an hour. It's absolutely fine. Feels nice, feels controllable. It's a bit heavy on my wrists, if I'm honest. Is that the way I sit, or is it the nature of the bike? Again, it is a bit of a sports bike, so I would say in reality it's probably the way the bike makes you sit. But you know, you might like leaning forwards, watch all these bumps. Hopefully they'll sort this part of the road out. This has got a quick shift on it as well, so you don't have to use the clutch. The brakes on it, again, not that I've really tried using the brakes much, but you just touch them and they want to stop you. So again, quick shifter. The Trident I learned on had a quick shifter, not that I ever used it once because I wanted to get used to the clutch as much as possible. I wanted to get used to using the bike. I should use the bike, but I've got to admit, using it for about 2 minutes, having a quick shifter is actually really cool. I do really like it, I'm not going to lie. Is it lazy riding? I don't know, but again, I'm just literally putting 2 fingers on that brake and it wants to throw off the front, which is pretty cool. So this was the Street Triple RS. I went out in earlier. Absolute monster, wants to kill you.
How about a magic trick? It's gone.
Ask you to ride you quicker and quicker and quicker. Okay, so I am now on a Triumph Tiger 900 tourer bike. So I've never ridden anything like this. I've really liked the other bikes as well, but oh my god, I didn't want to ride this, and he was like, just take one out, and I was like, no, not interested. He said, you'll be pleasantly surprised. Again, I've only got 28-inch legs, so I'm really short, but this has got a lowered seat on it, and I can touch the ground, a bit tippy-toey, but I've got to say, first impressions, again, ridden around the block, up home quickly, back down the road, sat on it, and I'm pleasantly surprised. It turns well, it's really smooth, it's got an alright sound to it. So let's go and have a little play. So it's got the obviously wind deflector at the front, which makes it a little bit nicer. It feels more balanced, if I'm honest. It feels I feel like I can throw it around easier with more confidence. I instantly feel more confident on it, which in a way I hate because I didn't think I was going to like it. But again, just dipping it around that roundabout, it seems easier, which obviously is, you want to be confident on the bike, and I didn't want to like this bike. I've been on it 5 minutes and I do really like it. Tiger 900 Tourer, but I've got to say I was pleasantly surprised, and this is the bike so far I was most comfortable on as well. My GoPro didn't actually record while I was riding this bike, so I'll give my review at the end. Today I am on a Triumph Thunderbird Storm 1700. It's a 2016. It isn't from a dealer, it is a private sale. I did have a quick go on this a couple of weeks ago before I passed my test in a car park, just to have a little go. It felt really comfortable, so I've gone back over. Now I've passed my test, I can actually go out for a proper ride on it. So
It sounds lovely, it is comfortable. It is quite a bit heavier.
Heavy, isn't it?
Heavy is good. Heavy is reliable. If it doesn't work, you can always hit him with it.
So people say about a heavy bike, and it is a heavy bike, it's, you know, 300 odd kilos, so it's, you know, a good third heavier than a lot of things. But it does just feel so comfortable in respect to the way it handles the bumps, going around the bends. Yes, it doesn't turn out quick, but once you get the hang of it, and again, I've been on this for, you know, a few miles now, and I'm already starting to learn to throw it about a little bit, which is quite cool. Speed over the track is a bit weird because you're normally looking up here, also looking down here. The feet on this bike are forward pegs, and there are obviously lots of different positions you can have on different bikes. Having the extra weight on the bike, going over them bumps, which I've done on all of the bikes, although you can feel the bumps, it handles the bumps so much better because there's extra weight, there's extra suspension. It just goes over bumps and it just feels like it's a lot more planted on the road, which helps you feel a lot safer. So the engine braking on this is absolutely phenomenal. The clutch is quite heavy, but once you start getting used to it, you only literally need to pull it up like literally just the slightest part.
So after riding all them bikes, the two that really kind of I kept thinking about and wanted to go back to were the Triumph Scrambler 900 and the Thunderbird Storm. So I did jump back on it and take it out for another quick go. Here's what I thought.
So I've just been out for a good sort of 30-minute run on this, and I've got to say, falling in love with it. I'm definitely going to go and put an offer in Gedges, whether it be for me or the wife, but again, I can get near enough flat-footed on it, slightly tiptoes on a bit of a camber. It's light, it's manoeuvrable, I feel really comfortable, I feel really confident on it. It just wants you to ride it, not faster, but it just fills you with confidence on every bend, every time you brake, every time you're changing gear, and it's just allowing me or making me feel more and more confident each mile I do, which is a really nice feeling which I haven't had on many bikes. So I'm just about to go back to the shop and see what they say. It's great in slow moving traffic, it's got a lovely sound, well balanced, it's really light to manoeuvre, even up to 60, 70, it's got so much torque. I mean, it is a perfect bike. Right, that's literally falling in love with it really. I don't feel nervous on it. I've only been riding 3 or 4 days. This is the one that really allows me to feel confident. Taking corners, taking bends, all of it. It is amazing.
There you go, guys. I hope you liked the reviews. Sorry about the sound on some of them. My mics were playing around while I was filming. I didn't realise how bad it would be. But I hope that that's given you some insight in the bikes. So I just want to give you a quick breakdown on each bike. So we started learning on a Honda CB125F, which, you know, it gets you started. That's about it. I know a lot of people pass it and people say it's quite a nice bike to be riding around on, but once you've ridden all these, then all of a sudden you actually realise kind of how light and cheap and plasticky they are. Once we'd passed our CBT, we then went on a assessment ride, and that was on a Honda 500. Now, with all of these bikes that I've ridden, I've actually sat on probably about 20 bikes. I'm not going to talk about all of them, only like the top 10 that I feel is important. But all of the ones I've ridden, if I'd only ridden that one bike, I probably would have been happy to buy it. So even the Honda 500, I would have gone, do you know what, it's quite a nice bike. In comparison to the 125, it's fantastic. So actually, I'll buy that bike. And then, once we'd done our assessment ride, we then went on to a Triumph Trident 650, and all of a sudden you go, wow, the 650, awesome bike, much better than the Honda. And every single bike I've ridden, if I'd only ridden that bike, I think I probably would have been happy enough to buy it. So one of my main things is, what's the best bike for beginners? It all depends on you, your weight, your height, your size, what sort of riding you'll be doing and how you feel. So you've got to go and test them. You have to go and try all these different bikes. Don't listen to your mates, don't listen to Kevin or Sharron on Facebook going, oh, get one of them. Because one of the statuses I put out on 2 of the bikes, 85% of my friends and biker world people said, you've got to buy that bike, and that is the bike I hated. Strong. I didn't hate it, but that's the bike I didn't like the most. Like, that was at the bottom of the pile for me, personally. So don't listen to your friends. Go out on as many test rides as you can. All the bike shops are or most of them are really happy and helpful to let you to go out and ride. Certainly if you just passed and they want you to go and test and find your feet. So I like to compare stuff to cars. I've been driving cars now for 20 years, so I've got quite an extensive background in driving lots of cars. So I kind of compare them to that. So a lot I won't talk about, but the Honda 500 is like a Prius. I hate Priuses, but why? They're perfect. They're smooth, they're comfortable, they work well. There's thousands of them on the road, and they pretty much never let anyone down. But yet I still hate them. So why do you hate them? I just do. I don't know why. It's just something I have about Priuses. But that's what it is. It's a good bike. It does everything you want it to do. It's safe. It doesn't catch you off guard. It's just there and it just works. So if you want a Prius, yeah, for me that is the Honda 500. In between them spots, a friend of mine let me jump on his Rocket Free, as you saw in the video, and also a Harley Davidson Iron as well. Now Harley Davidson Iron, for me, too low, too bumpy. Every time I accelerated, I felt like I was being dragged off the back. I don't know if that was the style of the bike or the seat, but that's how it made me feel. The Rocket Free, on the other hand, wow, what an absolute monster. Very heavy, but once you get used to it, 10 minutes in the car park, going up and down a little quiet road, private road, you do get used to it. It will depend on your strength as well, because you do need a little bit of strength. So if you're only sort of 8 stone and 5 foot tall, then you'd really struggle with it. But again, it's one of them, you've got to sit on it, feel it, and see how it goes. The Triumph Trident 650, what a lovely bike to start on, really forgiving, really easy to ride. And for me, that was like, say, a Ford Focus ST. Quite nice, quite quick, doesn't blow you away, but just does everything it should do. Cheap, it's on the cheaper end of the market, £7,100 brand new, fantastic starter bike, really easy to get on with, fun, quite nimble, quite flexible around the bends, quite nippy. After about 70, 80, you noticed a lot of wind resistance, so at slightly higher speeds, the bike didn't cut through the air quite as well as some of the others. But again, if you're only looking at going for cruising or learning, then up to 60, 70 mile an hour will be absolutely fine. After that, jumped straight on the Scrambler 900. What a phenomenal bike. Torquey, good sound, fun, nimble, great in traffic. Overtaking, it's sort of 30 to 90 was unbelievable. In whichever gear you wanted to use, it just went. It just filled you with confidence. A really nice, for me, beginner bike to learn on, and that may be the bike that we've gone to pick for the wife. It is. We hopefully pick it up next week when she passes. What was next? A Triumph Street Twin 1200, I believe. Again, when I got on it, they just gave me the keys and said take it. So I'm like, okay, cool. And again, unbelievable sound, easy to ride. Again, bit of a monster. It's got so much torque. For me, I didn't fall in love with it. A lovely bike, but for me, it wasn't for me. For whatever reason, I just didn't feel that it was for me. In comparisons, I would say that's like an Audi S5 Quattro. So quite pokey, does everything you want it to do. Slightly more expensive than some of the other stuff. It's really smooth, really fun, quite a safe bike to ride. So again, phenomenal bike, and I wouldn't, if you wanted one and if you went and brought one, you really wouldn't be disappointed in it whatsoever. I then took out a Street Triple RS, and that's like a Lotus Exige. It just wants to kill you. I have to say kill you. It just wants you to go faster and faster. I was on it 5 minutes, 50, 60, out onto some A road, 60, 70, and it was just asking you to go more and more and more. And the brakes, the acceleration, the handling, all of it was insane. Quite stiff, quite aggressive. So for me personally, that was kind of at the bottom of the pile, because I don't want to be racing around. I don't want to be bent forward. I know lots of people want to do that, and if you do want to do that, that would be the bike for you. But I want to be upright. I don't want any weight on my wrists. That had the most weight on my wrists, and even after 5 minutes, I was starting to think, oh, my wrists are feeling a bit heavy. Didn't hurt, but quite heavy wrists. Very aggressive, very bike. So if that's what you're after, phenomenal bike and really well priced. Then what did I go on? A Triumph Tiger 900 adventure bike. Tourer. I called it a Tourer in the video. It's an adventure bike. I really didn't want to go on it at all. Looking at them, I didn't like the look of it. Certainly, in theory, didn't like the idea of the bike. But they gave me the keys and said take it out. And it depends on what riding you're going to be doing. If you're going to be out cruising, then it's obviously not your cruiser, but you're not going to take the RS across a desert. Or it's not going to be a commuter bike, or it probably wouldn't be a commuter bike. So you really need to work out what riding you're going to be doing. Are you going to be commuting on it? Then the Tiger 900 is perfect for that. If you're going out for a Sunday morning, Sunday night race, then your RS is probably your bike. If a bit more like me, you're a little bit older and you want to go out for a cruise with the missus, you want to go out for a breakfast, or for a nice sunny day ride, then more of a cruiser style bike will definitely be for you. The Tiger 900 for me is a bit like a BMW X5 M Sport. Literally will handle anything. It will go around a car park, it will go through traffic easy, it will go out on a cruise, but it will also go across a desert. It will literally handle anything you throw at it. Surprisingly balanced. You look at them, they look huge, but they're really well balanced. Loads of fun, loads of grunt. Yeah, really phenomenal bike, and I was actually quite surprised at how much I did enjoy it. But it's not the sort of style of riding I'm going to be doing, and if I'm honest as well, I don't like the look of them. Sitting on it, I don't feel like this is me. And for me, biking, some of it is going to be how it makes me feel when I'm riding it. Then what did I try? A Kawasaki Vulcan 650S as well. Great bike, really low, flat-footed. If you're really short, it's a phenomenal bike to jump on. Flat-footed. This one had an aftermarket exhaust, so it was a bit loud for me. Sounded great, but it was a bit loud. Low down grunt, engine braking. If you're a bit unsure or a bit nervous, this is a perfect beginner bike. I was looking for a beginner to intermediate bike. I think so. So I was looking for more beginner to intermediate bike. One of my friends who's been helping me to ride, learn to ride, again in car parks, on private roads, he suggested and said, you'll get on the 650 and you'll love it, and then 2 weeks later you'll be bored of it. Obviously I only had it for an hour rather than 2 weeks, but even after that hour I was thinking I need a little bit more, I want a bit more power. I felt like I was going to push the bike, and again I don't think I'm an amazing rider, but I felt even after an hour I wanted a little bit more. So if you're a little bit nervous and a little bit unsure, the Kawasaki Vulcan S is perfect. And I would say that's more like a Ford Puma ST, short, stocky, bit of power, won't blow you away, but anyone could ride one, and it has got a bit of poke to it, which is good. And then finally the Triumph Thunderbird Storm 1700 that I may be sitting on. Now for me this is kind of like, I don't know, a Jaguar F-Pace V8. It is quite a heavy bike. It has taken a little longer to get used to, but once you get used to it, it does change direction a lot quicker than people say. It's a very low ride. I can get both feet on my floor, pretty much flat-footed, and like I said, I'm only 5'7", and I only have 28-inch legs, so I've got quite a short leg. Once I got used to the weight of it, I just love it. I love how it sounds. I love how it makes me feel. I love the look of it. Like sitting on it now, I've just fallen in love with it. I do like the colour. I like the twin headlights. It cuts through the air quite nicely. It has got a lot of torque. Again, I haven't gone stupid on it because I've only been riding a week now, but I do like it. The engine braking is insane. This is the bike as well, like when you stop at traffic lights, people want to talk to you. They're like, hey man, what's that? What bike are you on? And what engine is it? And where did you get that? And a lot more people have talked about this bike. Not that I've brought it for that reason, but it is nice. Whereas, the GSXRs and the RSs, for me, are just a bit more normal. There's a few more of them. So personally, for me, this has really made me feel at home. So sorry if I've rattled on a bit, but for me, I've watched so many videos on picking your first bike, and for me, I wanted to try and get all the bits that were missing in every video, or the bits that I wanted to find out myself to give to you guys. So if you've enjoyed this, drop us a comment, give us a thumbs up. If you didn't, and by all means say that as well. So what's the best motorbike for a beginner? I would say between the 500 and sort of 700cc if you're a complete beginner, complete novice and a bit unsure. Make sure it's a low rider if you want to get your feet on the floor, or if you're short. But don't listen to Dave and Sharron on Facebook. Go and ride them for yourself. It is so important that you ride them, because there's bikes that I've surprisingly loved, and I thought, for example, the RS I would love, and if I'm honest, that's the I liked it, but for me, for what I'm looking for, it's the bottom of the pile. But if I'd listened to Dave on Facebook, then I probably would have just gone and brought one, because they're a bit cheaper, there's a few more of them, and it felt okay if I hadn't ridden anything else. How to pick your first bike? Go and test them. Go to a shop, a garage, a dealer, and say, I don't know what style of bike I want. Do I want a cruiser? Do I want a venture bike? Do I want a race bike? Go and try as many as you can. That is the best way of finding out which bike is for you. What riding are you going to be doing? Are you going to be commuting? Are you going to be going out for racing? Are you going to be on the track? Or are you just going to go out on a nice Sunday afternoon, go and grab a breakfast somewhere, a coffee, and just enjoy the day? Again, that will then obviously depend what kind of style bike you want. Then you've got positioning. Do you want peg forward, mid pegs behind you? And it's all right saying you want your feet forward or back, but until you sit on that bike and feel where they sit, you will not know what you want, or I certainly didn't. It's all right going, oh, I don't mind them being back a bit, but then you can sit on 3 different bikes that are there, there, and there. And all of a sudden, are you like that, or are you like that? So you've got to go and sit on them. You've got to take them out for a test ride as well. How loud is it? How does it sound? Is it standard? Is it aftermarket pipes? Is it too loud? So I've been on a couple of bikes, so I thought, oh, wow, but they were too loud. So I'd actually put them back on their standard pipes. Specs wise, please don't ask me. Go on Google and look yourself, because I've done none of that. And for me, one of the biggest things is, how does it make you feel? Is that bike you? But I'm the same with cars. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't go out. I love my cars, I love my petrol, I now love my bikes. So one of the big things for me is, how did I feel sitting on it? Was it me? And this style of bike for me is me. So there you go. I hope this has helped. I really hope this has kind of maybe filled in some gaps that I was missing when I was looking for bikes. Take care, enjoy your riding, enjoy the journey.